So not soon after that, you got a very important call, right? Who
Correct.
called you and what happened?
So, as I said earlier, I was working as a QC as a quality control engineer at the nuclear site, Fermi 2 nuclear site. So I got a call,
Yeah.
a strange call from a guy in Britain. And this guy in Britain happened to be a Mr. Craig Lynch,
Okay.
who is also from Toledo, Ohio,
Mm.
was an All-American at Start High School. Many would recognize Craig Lynch. And he was actually over there raising a family and coaching.
Wow.
And he said to me, Crosby, I want you to come over here and play for me. Because he was like a player coach at the time. And I thought, England, the first thing I said was, they don't have cars. They get around in horse and buggies.
Buggy.
Horse and buggies, I thought. I mean, that's just how much I knew about international living, okay?
Right, right.
But obviously that's not true.
Yeah.
They had cars back then. So yeah, Tavi, it just kicked off from there.
Wow.
You know, and I went over, you know, after speaking to my mom and family.
So how many years was it from playing pro to going overseas?
6 months. I worked at
Oh.
Fermi 2 for 6 months.
So,
and I got the
okay.
call.
Okay, because I was like, well, what happened with your fitness after that?
Yeah,
But it was
yeah.
6 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was fitness.
So
yeah.
was it weird getting back on the court?
No,
No?
because you know, back in the day, I exercised every day.
Okay.
Even though I was working at Fermi 2, I still was in the gym.
Okay.
You know, after work or at the weekends or whatever. So I've always been physically active because I feel better. You know, man. I like to stay in relatively good shape if I can. So,
Yeah.
so I was ready for it.
Okay.
You know, so I went there and oh my God.
Talk about your tour, because I know you went to a few places.
Yeah, what an experience. I played for Craig, as I say, start high school, graduate. In fact, Craig, I think, is the second all-time leading scorer at Start High School.
Wow.
My coach. And he had a great career at Furman University.
Okay.
Very, very well-known legend here. And he tore the whole city of Toledo up. I mean, he scored like 40 on Scott back in the day, right? 35 on, because he went to weight, you know, dude was unstoppable.
He's a beast. Okay.
He was unstoppable. But yeah, I had an excellent career over there. I played for 17 years in Europe. 12 of those were in Great Britain.
Wow.
And I am considered to this day, and I'm very proud of my achievements, especially in the British League.
Absolutely.
I am considered by many over there as the top 5 greatest players that ever played in Great Britain.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
In the top 5.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So you had 6 months after a huge transition, you moved to another country.
Whole different
So
country.
we talked about Tennessee being different. Great Britain. I've never been, but I can only imagine the difference. And so talk about, like, because obviously for a person who wants to pour and give to the community, you need community. You know, so talk about how you found your friends and how you found your footing being so far away from home.
Well, just check this out. Before I came back, or when I did come back in 2012, I had spent more time in Europe than I had being born and raised here in America.
Wow.
So imagine that. You know, I had spent more. Now it's caught up because I've been back here since 2012. But when I first came back here in 2012, I was more British than I am American. You know, because I spent more time in Britain than I had where I was born and raised. You know,
Right.
and I just think that adds to the versatility of what I'm able to cope with and the challenges and the excitement I get. And just having an adventurous heart, you know, and trying to learn. I seek to learn each and every day. That's very important to me.
It is.
So the language is different over in Grey Bull. The food is terrible. You know, I have to be honest. You know, the fish and chips are good, but then again, the experience of the pubs, you know, and the social that you have, and drinking the beers, and you know,
so that social community.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would say Britain is just as much my family as America is.
Okay. Good.
And that's how much I appreciate my time spent over there.
And you also started a family.
Yes, I have a young man who's head of everything over there, Boys and Girls Club. You know, he met the Queen about 2 years ago for his outstanding achievements in the community.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yes, called Leon Dale Crosby. I named him after my dad.
Oh.
My daughter is an absolute, now you're pretty. And she's pretty too. So like when she comes here this summer, I want you two gonna have to connect. Cause she is just a doll, honest to God. She's Ebony Marie. She's just so, and their mom is very, very nice too. Her mom is a senior partner in a law firm over there in Manchester, Manchester, England. Yes.
I heard she picked you up off the street. Like
she did. So can I just? Do you mind if I just sit? So I'm chilling, right? I had wrecked 6 cars prior to.
Oh my goodness,
to me walking. They you know, they put me on a restrictive walking course, okay? Because I had unfortunately wrecked 6 of their cars because you know the steering wheel's on the other side. I don't know if you knew this.
I did know.
And they drive in the opposite direction.
So after the multiple car accidents, it didn't click to you, huh?
No, they weren't going to give me a 7th time.
No.
They gave me 6 times. They weren't giving me a 7th.
Oh my God.
So I'm chilling, catching the bus, right? And this bad lady stops her car, this is in the summertime. She had the arrow, rolls down the window and said, "Hey, how you doing today?" Smiling, beard, and I'm like, "Who are you?" She said, "Hi, I'm Sue. Where you going?" And I was like, first I thought, why you worry about where I'm going? You know what I mean? But then I looked at her and I thought, no, I got to talk to her.
I'm going wherever you want to go.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, I'm going here." She said, "Come on, hop in. I'll take you in there." And man, that conversation, it just got off.
22 years.
Yeah, it got off 22 years. 22 years later. And,
Wow.
And that's how it worked, man. I said, like, "So you want to go out and hang out or whatever?" She said, "Sure." I mean, I stopped and asked you, "Did you want to ride?" "Yeah, I'd like to get to know you."
And that's how it happened.
That's how it happened. So that's my kid's mother. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. And then you started a family. You had your community out there.
Yes.
You had your career.
Great friends too.
Great friends in Great Britain, and then you get another phone call. So talk about that phone call.
Yeah, that was from okay, you kind of
about your mother.
Oh, about my mom. Okay, yes. I get a whole bunch of phone calls. I was trying to figure out which one you were talking about, but I'm with you on that. Yeah, I have been getting calls about my mom over the years, and my friends were like, "T, you need to come on, man." I'm like, "Why do I need to come on? I have family here. I have beautiful kids here. You know, I'm good. I don't need to come back to Toledo, Ohio." You know, they said, "No, man, your mom is sick." Like, and then the last time, my best friend called me and said, "T, man, I'm just keeping it real with you. You need to be here with your mom right now as soon as you can because she's not doing very well." So I ended up coming home. I think it was in April of 2012.
Okay.
Just to check on her, and I explained to my family what I was doing, and I realized that she was at a stage where she was deteriorating very rapidly, and that kind of messed me up.
Yeah.
You know, to see her so active and vibrant and energized all her life to a life that's completely different to what I've ever could imagine or seen. You know, and so I knew right then that I had to make a move. So this is how it went. I kissed her and hugged her. I told her I'll be back in a couple weeks, right? And just to try to give her some strength. So I went back to my family in Britain, and we just had to sit down and have a candid talk. And I had to say to him, "Look, I know we've been together for 22 years as a family. You know, the kids are here, but right now I gotta go and look after my mom." And that's where the only child thing comes in. Because if I would have had brothers or sisters or both, you know, maybe they could have looked after her. But I just felt being the only child, that was my sole responsibility to come home and nurse my mom. So that's when I came back 2012. And
why did your family not come? Would have been a longer process to get their like passports and all that stuff? Or?
Me and Sue had talked about, but don't forget, I said earlier that she's a senior partner in a law firm.
Right. Okay.
Laws are different than they are in Great Britain. So that would have meant if she did decide to come, she would have pretty much had to start all over again and take her bar exams because the laws are different.
Okay.
So that was out the question.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I loved her and, you know, I still love her, you know what I mean? How can I ask her to uproot and sacrifice all of that? She just, for me, it just didn't make sense. Yeah. You know, so, yeah, they were there, I'm here. You know, that lasted for a good 2 years. And then it kind of just started to break apart. And that's how but I still speak to my kids. In fact, I'm so blessed they're coming this summer. Summer 2023. Both Leon and Ebony will be with Daddy TC, okay?
Come on now. Hey.
Yes.
Good. So then, you know, unfortunately, I'm so sorry. My condolences. Your mother passed away not soon after.
2012.
And then now you're picking up the pieces, you know.
Yeah.
So what were you doing now? What are you doing now? Like after all of that and having to regroup and you moved from your family and then you lost your mother.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing now?
I'm actually a community outreach ambassador for the Taylor Automotive family, doing philanthropy work, supporting businesses, supporting individuals, trying to help where I can. I mean, I love role models in motion, you know. And so I am just so grateful and blessed for Steve and Mr. Taylor's, you know, hiring me 5 years ago, and the Taylor Automotive family are just wonderful. And the one thing I do want to say, out of all my blessings and all my travels and everything I've done throughout my life, it is amazing how I could have the opportunity to travel the world doing different things, you know, just not sports, but life in general. You know, been to so many different countries: Greece, Spain, Italy, you know, France, you name it. And excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay.
And to be able to come back to the communities I grew up in and give back to those same communities, different people obviously, but to the same communities, that is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And you still keep your vibrant energy, your bright smile, you still have so much to give. And I love that about you. That's amazing. Wow. So I heard that you're writing a book.
Yes.
Talk about your book.
Well, it's titled simply The Athlete. Just THE athlete, right? And I think that our story will explain why I named it that. Because that's what I was.
Yes.
All my life, you know.
An athlete, yeah.
It's not a basketball player. It's not a football player. It's not a baseball player, but it's an athlete that does all sports pretty well.
Okay.
Does all sports pretty well.
Good.
So that's
it breaks down your life story a little bit more, right?
Yes.
Isn't it? Amazing.
And so that's forecast to come out Mother's Day
of this year. Of this.
Of
and
20,
so why Mother's Day?
The book is dedicated to my mom.
To your mother. That's beautiful.
And all the riches that she gave me.
That's amazing. Oh, yes. I love that so much.
And I think she'll be so proud.
She's already proud.
Yes.
Absolutely. I know she is. Well, I want to, before we end this amazing interview, thank you so much, Terry, for your time. I have one phrase that I need you to tell me what it means to you, okay? Willie Horton's basement.
Oh my God.
We need to know what that means to you.
You know what? I think spending some time in Mr. Horton's basement taught me that no matter how great you are and what you've done in your life, you still need to be a nice person, and you still need to be humble about each and everything that you've done in your life.